Greetings, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I am the sole creator of this channel, Mystic World. As you may see on my channel, I am currently working on Avanor. Avanor is my fantasy project that I'm trying to build together and push out into the community. This right here is my sketchbook of learning my art since the beginning of the year. This isn't going to be a montage of my journey from start to present. I'm only going to show you basic Avanor concepts I came up with that I would like to share with you. This may have a bit of lore spoiler that you may not understand, but to me, that's going to be a very interesting concept to leave that mystery to you guys. Anyway, good thing I left this as my bookmark. So, upon moving down the line of Avanor as a dark concept world, I wanted to add a lot more variety upon different armors. This is all basically inspired by Dark Souls. I've got all my notes on the sides. What artist doesn't take notes from what they're going to be learning? But this is just a basic run-by of the artwork I've been doing as concepts. One thing you will notice is a lot of thumbnail drawing. There is a YouTube channel called Draw Sessions. If you are learning to draw, Draw Sessions is a professional at doing these thumbnails. Has a lot of really interesting videos, teaches you how to just let your imagination go wild. And with that, as you can tell just here, this thumbnail was one of the ones I really wanted to work on. And out came the priest. I have shown a flicker of this character in my sketch video, not my sketch video, my pitch video. This is one of the characters that was going to be in my book. He is a priest, as you can tell, but corrupted by something you guys won't know yet. But again, that is a mystery I would like you to try and de-ravel yourself and let your imagination go wild. So the priest has its concept of, it has the cross on his head, but it has the undercross on his robes. The symbol's down here before you all start shouting at me. I ran out of ideas for this symbol, and yes, you can argue it is the Republic symbol from Star Wars. This is not the final design. The final design of this character is in my Howl's Moving Castle book. And the final design is this. This was my final design for the entire character. And as you can tell, it looks absolutely astonishing. I changed the mask. You still have your crosses on his head and the robes. The inside of the robe just looks a lot more crisp. And plus, I was working with a lot of shading techniques. But anyway, enough spoilers for possible futures. Let's push on. These two. I had my hag. This one was an interesting one to design. Deformed limbs, long serpentine tongue, wrinkles, scars, chains. This one itself was a very intriguing process to do. Doesn't look a lot, but this was actually a fun one to draw. The ribs, the cloth, the chain, the veins, all of it. Just the texture of looking at it. It was just such a fun concept to actually draw. And then there was the next one. I never actually had a name for this little guy. a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, before you even say it, it looks like Mike Wazowski. Yes, I know. It does look like Mike Wazowski. I cannot lie. But I had a lot of fun with the arm spikes coming out, trying to define some muscle, and then just different variations of eyes with the protrusions of flesh just bulging out. It was just a fun concept to do, and I actually do love this piece a lot. It's, again, one of the long life favorites. My proportions still need a lot of work, but this was a concept of a knight that would protect Emin, one of the royal guards, or just a basic guard. I haven't actually decided yet, but I really want to redo this drawing to push out a lot further. Well, one, the proportions, two, I want to work more on this chainmail, the armor. I just want to make it pop a lot more. But one thing I know about my style is the quill on top of the helmet. My style in doing feathers, I gently just flick a few lines along the guideline. And for some reason, it works. And that has just always been my style ever since. This was an unfinished piece. This is just a massive golem that is merged with flesh. I never actually found a way to implement this into Avanor just yet, but he is not off the board. Now, this is where we start getting into some stuff where it's not going to make sense. You can read this all you want, and I'll let you try and unravel the mystery. But this is where things get dark for Avanor. Because as you can tell from the titles, if you are able to zoom in hard enough and enhance it, it says Liquid Arcana Blight. I was doing different concepts for how this would turn dark. This is just a snippet of what I had depicted. Golem, it was too blocky for me. That's pretty much out of the picture. This is just a basic mind map of what I depicted Grimdark was actually going to be in style of art, storytelling, atmosphere, all the basics. I was really struggling in trying to figure out how to do grimdark art, because the only thing, as I stated in my pitch video, is Warhammer, and Warhammer is only painting. So this was challenging for me as an artist wanting to draw nightmares in the style of grimdark. When no one draws, it's all painting. The model is already there. You just color it in. I'm trying to do it from nothing. So for this, I would happily just put this here for a moment, try and zoom in a little bit more. Oh, wait, I am not going to be able to fit that. I'll just leave that there. Okay, that should have been enough time to pause and let you read what I wrote. Little bit of a grunt with the iron cage in the hands. And this one, again, with thumbnail drawings, again, amazing technique. I was going to go down the line of what if I attempted to draw monsters that were still in a tortured form. But Avanor's peaceful at the moment, before everything goes to hell. So, again, a fun concept, but it just never worked. So I scrapped the idea. And then shading. This is where my work really started to pop. I never tried shading before, but for this, I was incredibly pleased. Because you have the textures inside the mouth, the sharpness of the teeth, the little bulges and spots on the tongue. It just worked for me. And this was a first attempt. And a damn good first attempt. This one, I never 100% had a reason for this. They're called the anomaly. I haven't 100% depicted what I'm going to be doing with this. Please ignore this. This was me trying to learn shading while trying to look at references for the Scrapped Watchman in Lies of P. Probably my best piece, but not for what we're here for. Again, more thumbnails and a little bit of a picture there to try and work out how some people could be affected by this blight. I'll leave it at just that. I think I've got one more. Not the Eye of Cthulhu, that is already taken. But this. I'm going to let that sit there for a moment. And let that sink in a little bit. Because this is the pivot point for why Avanor goes to shit. This is just an early design, an early concept. But the reason I drew this hasn't changed. The design is temporary, but the reason is here to stay. And this is who we know in our little world called Lathruan. And I'm going to let that be that. I do hope seeing some artwork of mine has been a bit more of an enlightening journey. I know it's not super high quality, but every artist starts somewhere. And for you guys to see my basic sketches upon what you guys are going to be watching, this was definitely a good start. Also with my new rig as well, because obviously I'm hands-free right now. Got a little mood light, everything. But I think I will leave it to just that, to let this sink in. As I will say, thank you all for watching. If you want to keep Avanor updated, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button, just so I know that you like this content and pushes me to do more. Hit the bell icon so you know when I'm doing more. I'm going to be posting shorts soon. I always put some posts up to try and keep you guys updated as much as possible. And as always, I will see you on the next page. Goodbye.